Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about Ethan Klein once again. And listen, I really wasn't planning on making back-to-back videos on this guy, but the other day on his podcast, I think he hit a new low. And I know nobody else is probably going to talk about this, so I feel like I have to point this out. So a few days ago, Ethan was really going after Gary Vee for selling NFTs. And by no means am I a fan of Gary. I have no problem if people are goofing on him. He says a lot of ridiculous shit that I laugh at all the time, and I think he's kind of annoying, and he's way too over the top, and I've thought about making videos on him before, and I'm surprised I haven't yet. But I have no problem if people support him, and I believe he's probably helped a lot of people in life. And from what I know, I don't believe he's a bad person, and I don't think he's trying to take advantage of anybody. But I guess that's where me and Ethan Klein differ, because Ethan pretty much says that this guy is a scammer and a con man for selling NFTs. And the craziest part about all this is Ethan himself has sold NFTs. So I don't know what kind of message he's trying to send here. I feel like he's exposing himself every day at this point, and it's becoming clear how jealous, insecure, greedy, and bitter this guy has become. So now I'm just going to play a clip of him talking about Gary Vee selling NFTs.
He put out the NFT as all scammers and cons have been doing lately, you know. And people are buying this shit, of course, because they love Gary Vee. But you guys got to see some of the NFTs he's putting out here.
Hey, hey, hey.
I mean, this is just upsetting. Okay.
Alright, so Ethan clearly has some negative feelings towards this guy, and he pretty much calls him a scammer and a con man. And just that alone, I think is a little over the top. I don't think Gary Vee is out here trying to take advantage of anyone. And I think it's pretty messed up just to call the guy a scammer and a con man because he's selling NFTs. And Ethan himself put out NFTs. Like, the hypocrisy here is incredible. So if you don't know what NFTs are, they're basically like digital collectibles, and they're stored on the blockchain, which is the technology that's used for Bitcoin. And it's just like owning artwork, but it's on your computer or iPhone. And it's really hard for people to see value in it because anybody can just screenshot it or record it, and it feels like you own it yourself. In my opinion on NFTs is I think they are extremely risky investments, and I think there could be easily a massive crash soon, but I still think they will be part of the future. But right now, I think they're still in the early stages, and the market is way too hot. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not trying to give you any financial advice, but in my opinion, I don't think right now is the best time to be buying NFTs, but I could easily be completely wrong, and we could see a bull market for the next 5 years, or we could just all see it crash tomorrow. Like, I have no idea, and nobody really has any idea. So just because you're selling or you're promoting NFTs, I don't think you're trying to scam people or take advantage of people. And obviously there are people out there that are doing some shady shit with NFTs, and they're trying to scam and money launder, but this kind of stuff goes on in the art world. There are a lot of shady rich people that are involved in the art market. There are little regulations, and a lot of people use art to avoid taxes and to money launder. So like any kind of art, NFTs are very subjective, and obviously a lot of the value comes from who the artist is or what kind of series the art is part of. So the value in Gary Vee or H3's NFTs mostly just comes from having their name attached to it. Like, I'm sure you've seen some art that looks like complete shit, but it's worth hundreds of millions of dollars pretty much just because of the artist who made it. People put value on weird things. Like, obviously signatures can be worth a lot of money. Like, I'm sure Kurt Cobain's signature is worth a ton of money right now, and it's basically a scribble from some random guy. And if you bought it, like, what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna look at it once in a while? So if people agree that NFTs are like legit art from real artists, then there's gonna be value in them. And if people continue to take NFTs seriously, then H3 and Gary Vee NFTs are probably gonna be worth some money, unless they fall off or people stop paying attention to them or they're not relevant anymore. You're basically investing in the artist or their career. So I'm not going to deny that Gary Vee's NFTs look like complete shit. He basically just doodled onto a piece of paper, but if you buy one, then you could say you own an authentic piece of art from Gary Vee. And like I said, I'm not a fan of Gary Vee, and I'm not a fan of Ethan Klein either, but obviously I can see some value in their NFTs. I would never buy NFTs from either one of them because I don't like the market right now, and I'm not a big fan of either one one of them, but I think it's pretty clear that they're going to have some fans that want to buy them. And as long as the market's hot, people are going to be paying good money for them. But obviously still the market fluctuates a lot, and somebody could buy one and the price could drop like 20% overnight. But that's the risk of investing in things. And if you still like what you own and you still see some value in it, you don't have to sell it. And it sounds ridiculous that Gary Vee can just doodle on a piece of paper and sell it for thousands of dollars. But Gary Vee has a huge influence. He's extremely popular and he's probably still growing. And I think he's one of the first people I heard talk about NFTs. Like, a lot of people were introduced to NFTs by him. So I'm sure his fans really wanted this, and I'm sure they were really excited by these. And in my eyes, they're pretty much worthless. But in my eyes, a lot of shit is worthless. Like, if somebody gave me a painting I didn't like looking at and it's worth $100,000, I'm just going to sell that right away. The artist behind it or the meaning behind it isn't worth anything to me, but to somebody else it's worth a shitload of money. And maybe that person is buying it for the wrong reasons, but that's just the art industry. There's a lot of shady people involved. And if Ethan wants to say that everyone buying Gary Vee's NFTs are just trying to money launder or avoid paying taxes or do some shady shit like that, then he's gonna have to admit that with his own NFTs. So I'm just gonna continue on with the video now.
This worm, glow worm, sold for, it said here on the last page, $34,000. Like, I'm sorry, but this is just fucking so, I just hate it. It's just nonsense. It's so stupid. It's nonsense. This will not be worth anything ever. People are being scammed. Moon, baby. What do you guys, you guys are fans of his, am I crazy?
I think that's the intention, is showing that it could be something so shitty. And the thing, what the fuck is that?
Go ahead, AB.
It's funny that Ethan's like, this is not going to be worth anything ever, but it's worth $34,000 like you just said. And also, I don't believe Gary sold them for this much. I think he sold most of them for like a couple thousand. And also, when you buy them, it comes with perks. Like, you get, I think, 3 years access to like all of his conferences or something like that. And I think he sold these months ago, but I could be wrong. Like, I saw articles from May, I think, talking about how he's selling them. And the funny thing here is I believe some of his employees are actually Gary Vee fans and fans of NFTs. But now, of course, since Ethan's not a fan of Gary Vee, then none of the employees can be. It shows how insecure Ethan is. It seems like everyone that's working for him, he wants them to only be fans of his. He's trying to prove that every other creator is a piece of shit that's just trying to scam their fans and take advantage of people. And he's the good guy for calling this stuff out and not trying to take advantage of anyone. Yet he sold NFTs and pretty much admitted that he was scamming his fans. So I'm going to continue with the Gary Vee video, but first I want to show Ethan when he's talking about selling his NFTs.
Speculative bubble. I think right now people don't really fully understand what they are and
I
what they're even
cash
buying.
in on this fucking bubble right now. That's what we're here to do. I'm here to get paid, plain and simple. I don't understand it. I don't think that there's really necessarily value in this, but maybe you understand it better than me, because here's what I'm going to tell you guys right now. As I open up our very special, one of a kind. Here, yes, baby. That's how I feel right now.
So while Ethan is selling this stuff to his fans, he's basically admitting that he thinks it's worthless. He thinks you're an idiot if you buy this stuff, and he thinks it's just a bubble and this is just a cash grab for him. I guarantee this is what happened with Ethan. He saw people making a ton of money selling their NFTs, and he didn't understand it all. He thought it was all bullshit, but it's a way for him to make money, so he's gonna do it. And I know all the excuses H3 fans are gonna make here. They're gonna be like, oh, he was joking, but this is clearly not a joke. Come on, he is being serious here. He agrees that the NFT market is shady as fuck. He thinks it's a bunch of scammers and he thinks it's a bubble. And he is trying to be funny while he's saying this stuff, but he's telling the truth. Like, he clearly doesn't understand the value in NFTs and he just sees this as a way to make a bunch of money. And it doesn't make him look any better, the fact that he admits what he's selling is bullshit and he doesn't believe in it and you're an idiot if you buy it. I think it makes him look even worse. Like, if you're selling something, at least have confidence and believe in the product that you're selling. Like, it seems ridiculous just to sell something and be like, I know this is all bullshit, I'm just trying to make money here, and if you guys are stupid enough to buy this, then I'm gonna sell it. This is the kind of logic that a lot of those gambler streamers have. They always say, I tell my fans not to gamble. I say if you gamble, you're gonna lose all your money and you're an idiot for doing it. But then they'll get paid millions of dollars to get people to sign up to gambling websites. It's like, just because you're admitting that what you're promoting is gonna make people lose money or it's worthless doesn't make it any better. And I also know H3 fans are gonna use the excuse that Ethan gave some of the profits he made from his NFTs to his employees and family members. And that's the same kind of logic the gambling streamers use too. They always say, say, hey, I give it back to people. It's not just all going to me. I'm giving it to my friends and family and people that need it. But it doesn't matter. You're still taking money from people and selling them a product that you think is worthless and you think it's a bad idea for them to buy. Like, it's fucked up to sell your fans something and just be like, hey, listen, I think this is worthless, but I know you guys are all idiots and you're gonna buy this from me. Like, all this is just a cash grab for Ethan. He's pretty much admitting it here. He literally says, I want to cash in on this bubble right now. And he says he doesn't even understand what he's selling, but he knows he can make money, so he's gonna do it. And I know H3 fans, some of them are so crazy that they're gonna use this as an excuse. They're gonna say he was doing this as a joke, and he was admitting here that he doesn't believe in it, he thinks it's worthless, and if you're dumb enough to buy it, you're probably just gonna lose all your money. But I don't understand how it's a joke if he actually sold these things and actually made a ton of money from them. So if you're scamming somebody and you admit you're scamming them, does that make it ethical all of a sudden? I just really don't understand the logic here. To me, it looks like Ethan's just trying to cash in on a trend that he doesn't even believe in or see any value in. It's just shameless. Like, you're selling something that you don't believe in at all, you think it's worthless, but just because people are going to give you money for it, you're going to sell it. So now I'm going to go back to when Ethan's talking about Gary Vee on his latest podcast, and his fans are kind of trying to defend Gary, but they're not doing that great of a job at it. And the craziest part is, I don't believe they even brought up at all that Ethan sold NFTs earlier this year. I don't know if they're nervous to bring it up, or he told them not to bring it up or something. I don't know. This is just really bizarre what's going on here.
I can draw this on a napkin. Nobody's gonna pay me $20,000 for it.
I mean, isn't that literally what he did?
You want to put that to theory?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I'll draw a dumb fucking worm. And I'm sorry, what is this here?
Now I feel like Ethan's just playing dumb here. Like, if he drew on a napkin and sold it, I'm sure it would sell for thousands of dollars. Maybe not like 40,000, but I think that's why he's angry. I think he's angry that Gary Vee has such notoriety and people are so obsessed with him that they'll pay that much money for his drawings. Like, this definitely seems like some kind of jealousy or some insecurity that Ethan has.
It's a dumb fucking worm? Like, bro, you gonna put a little more thought into your shit?
Yeah. So another big complaint Ethan has is just the fact that Gary just scribbled on some paper, did a little doodle or whatever. But with Ethan's NFTs, he probably just paid some graphic designer to make them. I don't think he designed that shit. Like, I doubt he put that much time into them. Like, he just had to pay somebody to make them. Like, he didn't even make them himself. Like, at least Gary Vee made these himself. It's crazy how bitter and jealous Ethan sounds at this guy. Like, he talks about him for a while here, and he sounds like really pissed off at him. He calls him a douchebag. He makes it seem like the guy is like the worst piece of shit ever. And the cognitive dissonance here is just on another level. Like, maybe he forgot he sold NFTs, but I doubt it. I just don't understand how you can have this strong opinion on them, but then sell your own and admit that you're pretty much scamming your own fans. Like, at least Gary actually believes in his own NFTs, and he's probably going to work his ass off to make sure that they stay valuable. Ethan's the exact opposite. He's saying, this is just a cash grab. Just give me your money and I'll sell you this bullshit that I think is worthless.
But what's your complaint? Because if he knows he can make money, why wouldn't he do it?
Thank you.
It's
love.
dumb, but he can make money off it, so he does it.
Just because you can do something, you should do it?
Yeah, if you're shameless enough, sure.
Okay, so you admit he's shameless.
If you do a drawing, I can put that up on OpenSea and sell it, probably.
Why are they not bringing up the fact that Ethan sold NFTs? Like, this blows my mind. Like, what is going on here? The way Ethan sold them, it was like the most shameless thing I've ever seen. And he was admitting he was being shameless. He's like, these are worthless. This is just a cash grab. I don't even believe in any of this, but if you guys want them, just give me your money already. And Gary Vee has been into NFTs for like over a year now, I think. He's like one of the first people I heard talking about it. He got so many people involved in it. Ethan's the one who was never really involved in the NFT market. He heard about it and 5 seconds later sold his own just because he knew it would make him some money.
I don't know. I find the whole thing a little disingenuous though, because that's not what he sells. He goes on and on about how NFTs are changing the world, that this is important, that people need to own this art. You know, he doesn't sell it like, he's not saying that.
He's saying there's opportunity.
I agree. I agree with that.
It's an investment.
I believe in NFTs separately, but someone like him promoting it maybe is a bit...
God, it's crazy the way Ethan influences and manipulates his employees here, and just his audience in general. Like, I think this employee that he's arguing with right now, I think he might be somewhat of a Gary Vee fan. I believe that's what he said. Then Ethan, with no self-awareness, makes the dumbest, most hypocritical, contradicting point of all time. And then his employee agrees with him and says Gary shouldn't be doing this, and he's like a bad person for doing this or whatever. But again, Ethan sold NFTs, and he's not some kind of artist. Like, NFTs shouldn't be his market, but he's selling them because he has a brand he can sell them under. And Ethan's not even a big fan of NFTs, and when he was selling them, he says he doesn't see any value in them. Like, at least Gary Vee has been promoting NFTs for over a year now, and he's a big fan of them, and he sees value in them. So obviously, eventually, the guy is going to come out with his own NFTs. And they're NFTs that he drew himself. He didn't hire anybody to make them. So it's like owning some kind of art from him, I guess. And he's obviously not known as an artist, but you don't need to be known as an artist to sell art.
Dan, how do we know you're not an NFT? You look like an NFT right now.
We could sell that. Yeah.
I'd buy that.
Would you pay $80,000 for it?
You could pay me.
Yeah, I'll pay you.
And the crazy thing is, I believe they probably will sell that picture of Dan as an NFT. And these people are just so confused, they won't even see anything wrong with that. They're gonna be like, whatever, we're just trying to make money. We're having fun. It's a joke. We're not taking things seriously. And the fans will back them up and come up with any excuse for them to do it.
And I think
What am I doing?
there's some cool stuff.
There's
Is my point.
not that he's made. You're saying that he's made, or
Right. Right. He's not a good example, is my point.
Okay, there are some great digital artists. Okay,
Right.
you know, he's not one of them.
I agree.
I think that's clear.
Yeah.
Well, isn't art in the eye of the beholder?
Nobody's beholding this
No,
art.
dude, it's literally defined by how much Ethereum it sells for these days.
God, Ethan is just so miserable. Like, what the hell is going on with this guy? Like, he pretty much just convinced all of his fans and all of his employees that this guy is a piece of shit and he's an asshole for selling NFTs. But Ethan can sell them and get away with it because I guess he sold them as a joke or something. Like, I don't know what the logic is here.
Draw a shitty stick figure worm and sell it?
Yeah, what is the message there?
It's because he's pitching this as a way for people to make money, to invest in his dumbass art. He's the only one making money here, dude.
All right, so I'm sure a lot of people have made money on Gary's NFTs because I'm sure they bought them and then sold them higher. Like, if you bought them right when they first went for sale on the auction or however he did it, you probably would have made a shitload of money because I think he sold them for like $2,500 and now they're going for like $40,000. And also, I'm sure Gary Vee has helped a lot of people make money outside of NFTs, and he's helped a lot of people in their lives like get out of depression and become more successful. And it's crazy that I'm defending Gary Vee because I'm not even a fan of his. I think he's annoying as hell. I can't really stand him. I think he's funny to watch because he does so much goofy shit and he's way too over the top and he's like hyped up 24/7. But I feel like it's pretty ridiculous and disingenuous to really trash the guy this much and call him a scammer and a con man and say he's just trying to take advantage of his fans, especially considering the person criticizing him did the same exact thing in an even more shameless way. I think Ethan has just completely lost his mind here. Like, I don't even know what the hell the guy's doing anymore. I don't know what kind of point he's trying to make. He's gotten way too caught up in this virtue signaling, jealousy, insecure rage, and now he's just trying to trash anybody who's more successful or making more money than he is, and he wants his fans and employees to think that he's a good guy for calling out all this stuff.
I hate it. I hate it. Because he gets all of his audience hyped up on this idea that NFT is like this amazing once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and he sells them fool's gold, literally fool's gold, at fucking $10,000 a piece.
This is just mind-blowing shit coming from Ethan. Like, leave me a comment. Do you think Ethan forgot that he sold NFTs, or he thinks he sold NFTs in the right way or something?
Look at this asshole. He couldn't even be fucked to take a better photo of himself.
Looks like he's on a football field or something.
Idiot.
Yeah, he likes the Jets. He wants to buy the Jets.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you guys. This is not okay.
That's what this all is. This is fundraising for him buying a football team.
You see this?
You get a doodle that he made on a napkin. Actually, you don't even get that. You get a digital certificate.
Buy one of the shittiest teams in football.
I think this is one of the most toxic podcasts ever. Like, I get the feeling that AB is just sitting there depressed at this point, and maybe even that guy on the robot thing. Like, I feel like he's kind of just like, all right, whatever, I give up. Gary Vee's a piece of shit. And Ethan and Dan are just sitting there trashing everything and everyone and trying to drag everyone down. And this just does not seem like a fun time. Like, Ethan is way overblowing this. Like, he's making it seem like this guy is the greatest scammer of all time, and he's just taking advantage of everyone. And this is always his attitude now. It's like, I'm better than everyone. Everyone else is a piece of shit compared to me, and I'm calling it out. And these people are just so toxic, and I think it's pretty clear at this point that AB and that kid on the robot are just like, whatever, can we just be done with this? Like, Ethan clearly has some kind of personal issue with this guy, and there's no convincing him that this guy isn't a scammer or he's not taking advantage of people.
You know, I'd be surprised if he even made these himself. Like, there's no way.
Took the time to sit down and do.
And now they're acting like these would take too much time for him to make and he wouldn't do them himself, even though 5 seconds ago they're like, he probably did this shit in like 15 minutes and just scribbled on some paper to make a quick buck. And also, I think they play it later, there's videos of him making these.
To approach it, but oh no, dude. Anyway, whatever. Talked about enough about this asshole. I just don't like how much people like put this guy on a pedestal as some genius. I think he's a douche.
And there, he says he's just pissed off that the guy's successful and he hates him for that. Like, this isn't just somebody making fun of Gary Vee for doing some goofy stuff. Like, Ethan absolutely despises this guy. Like, he says, enough talking about this asshole, I think he's a douche. And he's so bitter and angry about it too. Like, this dude sounds miserable, and this is like the most toxic environment ever. And also, I'm sure some of Ethan's fans are fans of Gary Vee, and he might have helped them out a lot in life. And also, I'm pretty sure AB and the guy in the robot are fans of Gary Vee. Like, AB just seems depressed and sick of Ethan here, and I think Ethan talking negatively about Gary Vee is directed at his employees a little bit. Like, he wants these people to stop being fans and stop supporting Gary Vee because he just wants them to support him. And I honestly believe AB probably doesn't enjoy working there that much. Like, he'd never admit it, obviously, but I can't imagine this is a good time for him. I feel like Ethan always gets mad at him, and whenever AB tries to defend something, I feel like Ethan just tries to make him look stupid. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if AB was scared to bring up the fact that Ethan sold NFTs in the past, because Ethan would probably lose his mind over it. Alright, so that's about it for this video. I'm sure everyone gets the point here. Ethan has really fallen off. I think he's just slowly spiraling out of control at this point. So make sure you leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this whole situation, and then hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you at the next video.